How are all my fly tying friends out there? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish. You ever wake up feeling a bit mischievous? Well, today I surely did. And I've added to that with a couple cups of mischievous coffee. And now it's time to sit down at the vise and tie something very mischievous. So, grab your tools, grab your vise, get ready to have some absolute fun tying this bug. As we get into this fun little fly today, let's talk about the hook very quickly. This is the Ahrex SA280 size 8. We are going to tie essentially a hatching egg fly today. I'm going to be tying with some stuff that we don't carry here at Spawn. Some of it we do, but bear with me. I'm going to get some flat waxed 210 here from Danville. It's a little hot pink. And this is a really fun fly, and as we get tying this, I'll kind of tell you why I think it's a fun fly. So you guys have seen an egg fly tied, of course, before. We are going to add an element of difficulty, at least in my opinion here, with a dumbbell eye. So let's just give us a tiny kiss of some super glue gel there, and then I've got my dumbbell eye, and this is the double pupil lead eye from Hareline, and this is size small, and the color is fluorescent pink with the white and black pupil, so very visible, very cute, all that good stuff. Before I start applying this to the shank, I'm going to take one wrap of thread and get a little glue on that thread, undo it, and then come back on top. And so even with my very first initial wraps here, I will have a little bit of glue contacting the top, and of course the bottom side of that eyeball or dumbbell where it meets the shank is going to be in contact with that super glue. And then I will start solidifying the wrap down here of these eyes, and I'm not going to give too much explanation on how to do that by now. Most of you have seen a video or two on how to do dumbbell eyes. If you have not, by all means, take the time, research a little bit, educate yourself, tie better, stronger flies, starting with the very first element, which in this case, of course, is that dumbbell. At this point, give a little test. Eat up some space is all we're doing here with our thread. So we're going to get some back, front, over, little angled wraps, figure eights, all that good stuff comes into play. That's it, done. I'll just show you a finished one real quick here, and you can kind of see where we're going to head with this. So here is the hatching, it's almost alive, the hatching egg, right? So you can see it's not real crazy by any means. What is real crazy is I've only tied this for one person for about 8 years now. They swear by this fly. They use it in fishing, to fish Puget Sound. And yes, this is for Josh's dad. And this guy, he's one of those people that's just super fishy. If you know what his dad does and has done for his career, it makes sense. The guy's, he knows more about fish than I think anybody I've ever met. And yet, when he's in Puget Sound chasing cutthroat, like this fly is just lights out for him. Let me cut this tail. As far as a length, I'm probably 1.5 times the hook length here. Nothing super crazy. I do want to add a little bit of flash to this as well. I've got some Krystal flash and UV pearl. I'm just going to veil, I think I've got 4 strands. Just going to veil that right on top and keep it on top of that hook shank. Wrap it down to where that little pink tail comes out, and we'll cut that roughly half the length of the tail. So now you've got a little flash, a little pink tail here, and this pink tail is some jelly rope from Spirit River. It's a Wapsie product, but by all means, V-rib, D-rib, anything like that would work just fine. Even some micro chenille would be great. Again, this is one of those flies, you don't want to question it too much why it works the way it does. It works really well. It works so well, in fact, I'm going to replenish Josh's dad's supply here that'll probably last him a couple years, but I'm going to tie a few extra. And my thought is I might sneak down to one of our local rivers and see if it works, even though there are no eggs in the system, any of that. I just want to find out what this thing does that causes these fish to just smack it time after time. Enough of that. Let's get into the rest of this fly. As you see, we're about 80% done already. And so I'm using this time wisely just to talk. Apparently I like to hear myself a little bit. What we're going to do now is get some McFly foam. So I have two sections. I have the top and the bottom. Normally when you tie an egg, you can go ahead and slap the top and bottom sections together. You wrap it all at once, no problem. One cut, done. This, however, is a special case because as you see, that dumbbell is going to throw things off. So I want a white egg with a bit of pink. This has been the successful color scheme, if you will, for many years for this fly. And again, it's about time to share this little dirty secret with you guys, and that's why I'm on today. Just bring you into my world a little bit. You know, not everything's a match, a specific hatch. A lot of times, especially with the searun cutthroat, it's just something goofy. You never know. It's the same with rainbow trout, same with brown trout. There's always that one fly you just go, man, it really shouldn't work that well, but hey, if it does, it does. Don't look that gift fly in the mouth, right? I'm just going to kind of work that thread. If there's one thing to learn here, if you do decide to buy some McFly foam, it's keeping your thread wraps on top of each other, meaning you don't want to consume up a lot of this foam because the elasticity in this product is what makes it work the way it does. So now, instead of tying all at once, I'm going to tie the bottom. Now we'll tie the top in. The key here is, if I'll show you again. I'm looking for a very defined spot on the top of that head, and so this is the way to get that. One color of pink on top of two smaller strands of white, and again, this is don't trap those fibers underneath that we tied in so cleanly, and then get one wrap over the top, move it side to side, make sure it's where you want it, and then come in with that second wrap right on top of the first one. So position, as you can see, the pink stays on top. And now I will go for the other side. And yes, we do have the bottom tied in, so keep that in mind when, bringing it from up underneath to the top. Just going to keep that in mind so that you're not grabbing an extra clump of that for no reason. So 2 wraps each direction, and then 1 more wrap each direction after those 2 initial. And got 1 more to go here on this side. I will follow through with 1 more. And now it's just create that little thread head there, and we can whip finish. Nothing to it. And trim out that thread. And at this point, especially where we make our whip finish not underneath there, I do want to make sure I get in with a little bit of head cement and secure that thread. So that's going to take care of the knot on that side, and it'll creep up the edges, and then I'll come onto my top, if you will, and make sure that those thread wraps get a little protection there. Nothing to it. All right, at this point, it's simply a scissor game. So instead of pulling all 4 up at once, or all 6, however many pieces you normally tie in for your egg from that McFly foam, instead of doing it that way, we're going to separate the bottom and top, leave it as we tied it in. So let me do this bottom cut first. I'm looking for a very tight egg, not a very big one. Again, this is a small hook, right? Size 8 in a trailer or stinger style hook. So the higher up you go, the bigger and fluffier the egg, the further down and closer to where you tied in, the firmer and smaller profile you'll get. So voila, a little angled cut as I go. I'm trying to round my scissor as I finish that cut. Now you'll see the coverage is not front to back 100%. You can still see a little bit of that thread poking through on the back side. Doesn't bother me one bit. Again, we're just going based off of the success of the fly. I've never seen how Josh's dad, who's Larry, I've never seen him fish it. I don't know how he's moving or anything. I just know he smacks a lot of fish with this. So cut the top same way with that little angle. Now we can get our fingers involved and kind of mush that egg down into position and fill out as much as we can. And there you have it. That is it. It is done. It is ready to fish. You know, if this is something that intrigues you, by all means, you can crank a bunch of these out. You can tie up a dozen with just getting the eyeballs on there, get your dumbbells glued and set, and then come back through and crank out the rest of it. It's one of those fun, I think, super fun flies to tie. And especially for people who aren't quite sure, I don't know if I'm into fly fishing. This is a little bit less daunting than matching a hatch. And again, if I make it to one of our little local streams, I'm going to try it and see if it works in the rivers as well as it does up in Puget Sound. But there you have it, little hatching egg a la Larry. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I always have fun with you here. And if you have fun, by all means, please hit like, hit subscribe. We will see you all on the water.